mock draft. So Luka Doncic, he went first pick here. That's surprising. Doncic, triple-double threat, obviously, but I don't know if he's worth that first pick overall in fantasy drafts. But right here, James Harden going 2 right now, and these are the results so far. We'll see who goes 3 here. Anthony Davis, good pick. You can't go wrong with Davis at 3, even though Giannis, he might fall in this draft right now, is Giannis Antetokounmpo, and he's a guy I had ranked second as Giannis in my top 30 rankings heading into the fantasy season. So far an interesting draft. Karl Anthony Towns, he just went in number 4. So we'll see if Giannis comes off the board here at number 5. Karl Anthony Towns, he only qualifies as a center, but this guy put up big numbers last year, 26 and 10, and he's going to help you in a lot of categories. By the way, this is a head-to-head category league stats. So now I'm up next. Steph Curry, he just went 5th, and wow, Giannis, he might drop to be number 6. That's a steal at this point, because Giannis, he's a top 3 talent, and for him to go 6th here in this draft would be something else. If he goes here, I'm going to go with Jokic at 7. So either way, I'm going to get Giannis or Jokic with this pick. And right now, here it is. Giannis falling to number 7. And I'm taking him easily here. Jason Tatum, number 8. Not a bad get. Tatum in better shape. And he looks better so far this season. The Boston Celtics are saying in training camp. And this year, we'll see what happens on these teams in these drafts. These guys doing a lot of work and playing hard with the quick turnaround this offseason to this season. And a lot of player movement, obviously, in the NBA. But it's always like that each and every season, pretty much, in the NBA. But this offseason, obviously, it was quick. And a lot of guys changing teams as Damian Lillard goes 9. So far, we got Doncic at 1, James Harden 2, Anthony Davis 3, Karl Anthony Towns 4, Steph Curry 5, Joker 6, Giannis 7, Jason Tatum 8, and Damian Lillard 9. So far, it's a little bit of out of order. Karl Anthony Towns, I wouldn't take him in the top 4. I like Jokic and obviously Giannis, Steph Curry over him. Trae Young going at 10 over here. So the first round winding down. And Trae Young, he's great, man. 29 points a game last season for Trae Young. And the Hawks, they just got more weapons with Danilo Gallinari and Bogdan Bogdanovic and the mentor and Rajon Rondo. So LeBron, he comes off the board here at 12, at 11. Now the 12th pick is up. So far I got Giannis here. The settings in this league as well. We got point guard, shooting guard, small forward, powered forward, forward, center, 2 utility spots, and 3 bench. So that's the custom standard way for Yahoo Fantasy Sports. And Yahoo's the only thing I really play for fantasy. All football, baseball, and obviously basketball here. And Joel Embiid, he shuts down the first round at the 12th pick. So now let's see who this guy goes back-to-back. He goes Embiid 12. Then he goes Kawhi Leonard 13. Not bad. Embiid, I think he reached a little. Embiid, I had him from the 18 to 20 range in my rankings. But so far, you can't knock it. That's a good start. Kevin Durant off the board at 14. And that's where I about rank Kevin Durant. 14 or 15 in my top 30 rankings. Durant, he looked good in his season debut for the Brooklyn Nets. And Durant, he didn't play in a year and a half. And he had a decent ball game. Long way to the turn. 15 points, as you see here. 3 rebounds, 3 assists, and 2 blocks. So in about 20 minutes of work, Durant, he still could score. He even had a highlight dunk in this game. So it was nice to see him back. Devin Booker going 15 here. And Booker, will he take the next step even more this season? They ranked him 10th coming in, but I ranked him about 15th to 16th. So these guys, they're going about where I rank them. And now let's see who's out there on the board for me to get. We got Bradley Beal, Jimmy Buckets, Paul George, Westbrook. I like Westbrook a lot. Honestly, Westbrook, to me, he's under the first-round guy. I think triple-double Westbrook is going to come back this season And right here, he falls in my lap, Westbrook, with the 18th pick. So I start my roster off with Westbrook and Giannis. Not a bad start so far here. So we saw Bradley Beal go 16. Beal 30 points a game last season, but he was nubbed from the All-Star team. Hopefully this season he gets more recognition, is Bradley Beal, and he's going to be good. But I think Russell Westbrook, I took him here at 18. It could be a stretch to some people, but the ball's going to be in his hand, I believe, a lot this upcoming season, where he's going to have the ball 50-60% of the time in his hands in Washington. They got a lot of young players, but in the Eastern Conference, I think Westbrook and the Washington Wizards can make noise. The only thing with Westbrook is the injuries, and he's going to rest in back-to-back games, which isn't all that good. But right now, Westbrook, you still take the shot on him. And this guy, back-to-backs, there's going to be about 6 or 7 on the season. But Westbrook, they're taking it easy with him, I believe, here is Washington. And they're ready for him to unleash after those back-to-backs, as we saw Jimmy Buckets go, DeAndre Ayton, and Paul George. Paul George, he was decent last season, but in big games in the playoffs, he just couldn't come through for the Los Angeles Clippers. And let's see if this season he can. But right here, Paul George at 21, that's not a bad landing spot for him. And Paul George, he could still get 22 to 25 a game. Last season, he wasn't fully healthy as well after coming off another shoulder surgery. But this year, George, he says he feels 100% and he's playing aggressively. And he had a decent game in his first preseason game with 10 points, 2 rebounds, and assists, 2 turnovers in the loss. And Kyrie Irving going at 23, John Collins 22. So Kyrie Irving, he's a guy I said on my avoid video to avoid these guys in your draft. But Irving at 23, that's a pretty good get to get Kyrie Irving. He's a guy who's also not going to play back-to-back games, and he's often injured. So Irving, you'll be lucky to get 40, 50 games out of him in this 72-game season. Ben Simmons at 25 is a total steal in my opinion. Ben Simmons, if this guy could get a jump shot going, Simmons, he could take the next step and really lead this Philadelphia 76er team even deeper in the playoffs. They got Doc Rivers over there. They got Sam Cassell, who's going to teach these guys some discipline and how to shoot the basketball as well. So Ben Simmons, he's a guy that he could have a monster fantasy year and be a top 10 pick the rest of by the end of the season. 26 Shea Gilgeous-Alexander goes. Then John Morant, but Jusuf Nurkic at 28, that's a total reach, in my opinion, to get Nurkic. That he goes above Rudy Gobert here. Let's see who I'm going to target right now. Zion Williamson off the board. We got Vukovic, Levine, Pascal Siakam, Jamal Murray. I think I'm going Murray here. Murray last season in the playoffs, we saw the damage he did was Murray. What a season he had in the playoffs. Him and Donovan Mitchell in that first round, they went shot for shot. These guys were dropping 40 to 50 points a ball game. And then in that third round, versus the Los Angeles Clippers, second round, they were down 3-1, but Murray and the Joker got it going. And this season, I think the numbers are going to go up. The threes are going to go up. Murray at the free throw line, he's a great shooter. His assists, I would like to see go up as well. But we'll see what he does. He was ranked 35. I got him at 31 overall in this draft, so I don't think it was much of a reach. And we still got great players out here. Siakam, I like Fred VanVleet. I'm iffy about him this season. VanVleet, he got his money now. So let's see if he could perform this season for the Toronto Raptors or Tampa Bay Raptors is where they're playing, whatever you want to call them. But Siakam just went off the board. So the last few picks now, it went Rudy Gobert, 29, Zion Williamson, 30, Jamal Murray, 31, Nikola Vukovic, 32, Zach LaVine, 33, and Pascal Siakam, 34, which I think is a total steal to get Siakam here at 34 in the draft. He does a little bit of everything. He's going to get 20, 25 points a game. He also qualifies at powered forward and center, which is really valuable in my opinion for Siakam. And we'll see what he could do this season. Chris Paul off the board at 35. So this draft, it's going pretty quick. It's a mock draft. I'm not going to show you a full draft. And I'm actually in 3 leagues this season, so we'll see how I could do. But these mock drafts, they help you get a strategy down and see what you want at each position. But most of the leagues, they're going to be basic positions, like I said, a point guard, shooting guard, a guard, forward, powered forward, small forward, 2 centers, 4 utility. I usually do 12-team leagues, but this season I might actually be in 10-team leagues for whatever reason. A few guys, they don't want to come back this year and play fantasy basketball. And here goes Fred VanVleet to kick off the 4th round with the 37th pick overall. Andre Drummond going 38. Drummond, he's interesting over there in Cleveland now. He'll have a full season after finally getting traded from Detroit last season, is Drummond. So we'll see what he does. I think it's a decent landing spot. I think Kevin Love's rebounds are going to take a hit. Here's De'Aaron Fox going at 39. Fox, he got that huge contract in the offseason. He got the max deal. So we'll see what Fox could do. Now Brandon Ingram, a guy I'm really high on, and I had him in my top 30. To get him at number 40, I think's a steal. It's sky's the limit for Ingram, and he's another guy who got the max contract and well-deserved. So at least the Pelicans in that Laker deal, they got something good for Anthony Davis and Brandon Ingram, Lonzo Ball, who's a free agent, though, after the season. But let's see who I'm going to target here at number 42 when my pick is up. So we got Lowry here, True Holiday, Sabonis, Jaylen Brown, Aldridge, Mitchell Robinson, Whiteside. They rank him pretty high here. I think I'm going CJ McCollum. This guy's an underrated player. He gets the job done, and he's a guy that could explode anytime. 30, 35-point games. He's going to help you in the 3-point category. Pretty decent in free throw percentage, even though he was 75% last season. But McCollum, I think to get him in the 4th round is a pretty solid get. And Kyle Lowry, I don't know if he's going to be healthy this year, so I passed on him. Aldridge, he's older. And these centers, I think they're too highly ranked. Mitchell Robinson, he's not even starting for the New York Knicks, and they rank him 46. So for me, the decision was McCollum or Jaylen Brown. But for some reason, I just like McCollum a little more this season, even though Brown, we expect to take the next step in Boston. But we'll see what happens with that. But Jason Tatum's there. And now Brown coming off the board here at number 47 is Jaylen Brown. So the last few picks, it went Ingram, D'Angelo Russell, who I think he'll be pretty solid for the Timberwolves this season in a full season. That's where he wanted to go with his buddy Karl Anthony Towns, and they got Ricky Rubio over there. Then it went CJ McCollum. I went True Holiday. Hey, hopefully he does good in Milwaukee. This is their last shot probably with Giannis, if he's going to leave in free agency after the season. Then it went Kyle Lowry, who I'm just not a high on this season or a big fan, really. Then Christian Wood, he's with the Houston Rockets now. I think his numbers are going to take a hit, especially if James Harden cooperates and he's going to start the season there. Then Sabonis, who was good till he got injured last season. Then Jaylen Brown, Tobias Harris, Porzingis, who I don't like at all, taking him at 49. Porzingis, he's a guy I just can't trust. And right now, you see from this report, he just started running on a treadmill. So that knee, it might take months, weeks, who knows how long he's going to be out. Even with the injured list spot, he's a guy I just can't trust, is Kristaps Porzingis. And now I'm up here with the 55th pick. I think I'm going to go Michael Porter Jr. I think Porter Jr. has a breakout season this year, especially with Jeremy Grant out of town and going to Detroit. And we saw Porter Jr. step up last season in the playoffs. He struggled in his first preseason game the other night, 3 of 12 shooting, 1 of 4 from 3. But this is a guy I had on my breakout list this season. And here in the advice, a guy on Roto World, he took him in the 3rd round. That's a little too high. So me getting him here in the 5th round, I think it's not that bad of a deal. And he's a guy who could have a huge potential. He was supposed to be the number 1 pick in the NBA draft a few seasons ago, but that back injury haunted him and dropped him down in that draft. I believe the Nuggets took him 14th or 15th. He fell in that draft. I could be wrong, but Michael Porter Jr., he's a guy that's going to have a breakout season. And he's going to be a guy that fits in very well, I believe, with Jokic and Murray. And obviously defenses, they're not going to always go on Porter. They're going to put their focus, obviously, on stopping Murray and Jokic. And Porter, I could see him having 15, 20 points a game, 6 or 7 rebounds, and he could get you 2.5 threes a game as Porter. So I think at 55, he was a good pick. Valanciunas, he went here at 56, but I'm not a big Valanciunas guy. He's another guy who often injured. Robin Covington now, he went at 57 this season. His role is going to be different, obviously. He's Covington with a different ball club with the Portland Trailblazers. That was one of the first trades in the offseason. Covington going over there. Then Hassan Whiteside back with the Kings after leaving. That's where he made a name for himself. Then he went to Miami. Then he got traded to Portland last offseason. But it blows my mind that Whiteside only got the minimum contract. And Whiteside, he's going to help you in blocks. He's going to help you in rebounds. He'll score here and there. But he's going to hurt you in free throw percentage. And obviously, he don't hit threes or pass the ball, really. But Hassan Whiteside, he was a good get at 58. Brogdon at 59, not a bad get as well. With him, he was injured last season. But this season, if he stays healthy, this guy, he's going to help you in a lot of categories. Look at his free throw last year, 89%, 75 threes. Decent with the points, 893 points, 262 rebounds, but 43% from the field. Hopefully that number goes up. Then Clint Capella of the Atlanta Hawks. I don't even think he played more than 3 or 4 games, if that, for the Hawks last season at 60. So he closed out the 5th round. And now I'm up here again with the 66 pick. So right now I got a pretty decent team. I filled out point guard, shooting guard, small forward, power forward. But hey, I might go again. Best player available is my strategy. And I think Andrew Wiggins has a big season with the Golden State Warriors, especially with Steph Curry out now. Wiggins, I think his points per game could really step it up with Klay Thompson out. I meant not Steph Curry. Him and Curry, they're going to have the workload over there. I know they got Oubre and James Wiseman, who I'm high on. He's my second-ranked rookie coming into the fantasy basketball season. Wiseman is going to be a garbage man. But anyway, Wiggins last season, his free throw was poor. His three-pointers went up, made. And he's a guy, he could give you 20, 22 a game with 6 or 7 rebounds possibly. And 2 or 3 assists is Andrew Wiggins. He'll get some steals. His turnovers, medium, but I think Andrew Wiggins will be decent for fantasy owners. And for me to get him at 66, I don't think it's a bad way to get him. And John Wall went after him, 67. John Wall, he looked healthy and he looked pretty good the other night in that game in the preseason. Lonzo Ball, 68. Marcus Smart, 69. Kelly Oubre, 70 in this. So right now, this draft's moving along, and like I talked about Oubre before, he had 18 points a game last season for the Phoenix Suns, and I think he fits in with that Golden State Warrior offense pretty well. I don't think he'll get 18 a game because Steph Curry and Wiggins, I believe, will be the top scorers for that Warrior team, but Oubre, 14, 15 points, and he does a little bit of everything with the rebounds, points scored. His field goal last year was poor, though, at 37. That was smart. His field goal last season, Oubre, 45%. Hopefully that could go up for him, but he's a guy, he's going to shoot a lot of threes. His free throw not bad, from 78 to 80%. And Oubre, I think this guy reached a little, even though they rank him at 66, getting him at 70. Then we saw Steven Adams at 71. He's now with the Pelicans. And Adams, he's banged up, as you see here, with the left hamstring injury. But I don't think that's much of a big deal. A lot of guys, they don't want to play the preseason. When the lights turn on and the regular season starts next week, these are the guys that are going to play. And Steven Adams, to get him in the end of the 6th round is pretty good. And to start the 7th round, we see Lauri Markkanen, Delino Gallinari, and Thomas Bryant. Lauri Markkanen last season, it was a down year for him and injury-plagued as well. But I think this season, Lauri Markkanen, he could have a good season with the Chicago Bulls. I know the Bulls were shopping him at the trading deadline last season, And now in this offseason as well, they might have been shopping him. But marking in here to get him in the 7th round, it's not bad. And they ranked him 73, so he went about his projection. He had a bad ball game in preseason yesterday. 1 for 10 from the field was marking. And now I'm up again here. And right now, you see the positions I need. I could go utility, 2 centers, or I could even move Giannis at center. And that's the good thing about fantasy basketball. These guys, they qualify at a lot of positions. So pretty much you draft best player available or however you want to do it. But right now, I'm going to go Blake Griffin here. I think Griffin bounces back, and he's an explosive player, and he could put numbers up and make plays. And to get Griffin here in the 7th round, I don't think it's a bad get. Griffin, he's going to get major playing time. They're paying him a boatload of money. And in the preseason game, 3 from 11 from the field with 2 threes versus the Knicks. And he added 7 rebounds with 9 points and 5 assists and a steal. So I think Blake Griffin, he's a decent get here. And he's a guy, like I said, he's going to play most of the season. And these other options I don't really like. Kemba Walker, he's hurt. OG Anunoby, I don't know if he'll be great. Aaron Gordon, he hurts your field goal percentage and free throw percentage. And foul trouble has been his problem most of the way. Kevin Love, he's a guy I said to avoid in drafts as he just went. So now the last few picks before me went Wendell Carter Jr., who I'm not that high on Wendell Carter. He's up and down as well for that Chicago team and inconsistent. Then it went Kobe White, who I had on my breakout list. Kobe White, they're going to give him the keys over there for the Chicago Bulls. So Kobe White in the 7th round, that's a good draft pick. Victor Oladipo, another guy that I like a lot this season. He's healthy again. He's going to play with the Pacers. I know there was rumblings he wanted out of Indy. He's going to help you in 3-pointers. He's going to score anywhere from 18 to 20 points a game, 4 or 5 rebounds with 5 to 6 assists possibly. Eric Bledsoe at 80. The only thing over there for the Pelicans, they got so many point guards with Lonzo Ball, Bledsoe, Josh Hart, the other Alexander, Brook Lopez, he went at 81. Another season in Milwaukee for him. Derek White, 82. Kevin Love, 83. And OG Anunoby, we'll see what he does in his expanded role this season for Anunoby and the Toronto Raptors. But anyway, I think he'll be decent. But to get him in the 7th round, I don't like it. Then we saw Horford, Colin Sexton, Mikal Bridges, Brandon Clark, Aaron Gordon. Now it's my turn again. So we'll see here if there's any sleepers I like. Well, we got James Wiseman here. I don't know if I'm going to go for the 3rd Warrior. We got LaMelo Ball I like. Powell, Bogdanovich, Tyler Hero, Burtons. I think I'm going Markelle Fultz. Markelle Fultz was a guy I also had on my breakout list. And they're very impressed with Fultz over there in Orlando. And Fultz, he had 21 points with 2 threes. So if this guy could start making 3-pointers and up that free throw percentage and field goal just a bit, he's going to be a good get. And for me to get him in the 8th round, I think it's a decent area to get him. The other options were Wiseman, like I said, but I already got 2 Golden State Warriors. But if Wiseman comes around here in the 9th round, I'm getting him. Mike Conley was there, but he's injured a lot. So Markelle Fultz is a guy I'm high on going into fantasy drafts, and I took him here. And now let's see for some sleepers. We got Duncan Robinson down there. We got Allen, Steph Curry's brother, Jeff Teague. Teague's ranked. RJ Barrett, I think he breaks out this season. Many options here, but so far I'm riding with the lineup. Russell Westbrook at point guard, Jamal Murray shooting guard, CJ McCollum guard, Michael Porter Jr. small forward, Giannis, which I got 7th pick surprisingly, at powered forward, center Andrew Wiggins, Blake Griffin at center, Markelle Fultz at utility. So far I like my team and lineup. Now I just got to get another center, utility, and fill it out with 3 bench spots. So we'll see who's out there. And let's see the last few picks that went down. So yeah, before me, I said Aaron Gordon, went Markelle Fultz. I took Devontae Graham. I think he's going to take a step back with LaMelo Ball there now. And obviously Terry Rozier, they're paying him big money, and they didn't trade him. So Graham, I think his stats go down, but still to get Graham in the 8th round, not bad. Riquen Holmes, he's supposedly going to be the starter for the Sacramento Kings. We'll see about that. Tyler Hero, what a playoffs he had last year. He took the next step, and he's a guy getting them in the 8th round. That's a steal, and he qualifies at point guard, shooting guard, and small forward is Hero. Then Mike Conley, he went 94th in the 8th. Then Ricky Rubio, back with Minnesota. A lot of guys he could pass the ball to were Karl Anthony Towns, D'Angelo Russell. So now I'm up again here with the 103rd pick. And I'm going to take my shot with LaMelo Ball. This kid, they're raving high about him. And why not? It's the 9th round. We'll see what Ball could do. And he's my number 1 ranked rookie coming into fantasy drafts is Ball. And Ball, he didn't score in the preseason game the other night. But he just had the it factor. But right now, there's a lot of guys over there. I'm going to take him 9th. He's not going to help me in 3-pointers. But I think he's going to score the basketball. I think he could be a decent rebounder and assist guy, obviously. And he's a 6'8 point guard. So taking a shot at him here in the 9th round, I don't think that's that bad for LaMelo Ball. So we'll see what he could do this season. I know all the hype's there. He's filling out my roster as a utility guy. And now I only got 4 more rounds till this draft is over. For LaMelo Ball, I think he'll be decent. And if not, worst case, I cut him or I just use him as a spot guy when guys are off. So LaMelo Ball, I take him there. Now let's see the last few picks as it updated. So like I said, it went after me, Ricky Rubio in that 8th round. James Wiseman to get him in the end of the 8th. That's not bad. Wiseman, he's going to help in field goal points, rebounds, and block shots. And like I said, he's on a team that's going to be contending. And he's going to play good, I think, Wiseman. And he's going to be the 2nd best rookie coming into fantasy drafts. I had Ball as number 1 with all the hype and stuff around them. Other rookies I like, Sobi Toppin, I think he'll be good this season. Anthony Edwards, obviously, he was the number 1 pick, but he'll go later in drafts. So then after Wiseman went Dennis Schroeder. Schroeder, I think his stats will go down this season now that he's with the Lakers. And obviously they got Anthony Davis and LeBron James, even though who knows if Schroeder's going to start at all really this season. But I don't think he'll get 18, 19 points a game. He'll still be a solid guy. But getting him in the 9th round, I think that's a little bit of a reach. Then Kemba Walker, he's injured. But if you have injured lists, like most leagues will, I think to get him in the 9th round is fine. You're going to get a 20-point-per-game guy in Kemba Walker who's going to get assists. He's going to help you in threes. His free throw and field goal should be pretty decent. Last season, his field goal was bad, though, at 42, but the free throw was good. His threes made were good. So Kemba, even if he comes back in mid-January, that's not going to hurt you that much. So I like Kemba Walker there in the 9th round. Then you got Jeremiah Grant. I think he's overrated a little with this Piston team. He factored well last season. So I'm up here now. And let's see what else here. DiVincenzo, Nerlens Noel, Curry. We got Lou Williams, Will Barton, Jeff Teague, Alfred. I'm going to go with RJ Barrett here. I think Barrett to fall this late in the draft isn't bad for a guy that the Knicks, they're going to give him every opportunity. And I know RJ Barrett, he wasn't that good last season where he didn't help in 3-pointers made or really field goal percentage. But yesterday in that preseason game, he got a good 36 minutes, 25 points. He had 4 rebounds, 2 assists, and a steal. So he's going to hurt you in field goal. Marcus Cousins, he went also. Cousins, I like him this season. I think he'll be good, and he looked decent in that other game. 10 points, 6 rebounds. Even if James Harden is there or not, he's with one of his best buds in John Wall over there. Is DeMarcus Cousins. So I think he'll be good in Houston. And it's always been the health issue over there for him. So Jared Allen we got here. He went off the board after I took Barrett. Let me update this again. I got thrown off that it reconnected. But anyway, Bogdan Bogdanovic, he went after I took LaMelo. He's going to be good in Atlanta. I think he'll help in threes, points, field goal. He'll be decent. And he's going to be good. Karis LeVert in Brooklyn. Irvin, he's not going to play every game. Durant, think he'll sit back-to-backs as well. Sakaris Levert at 105 in the ninth round. That's pretty good. Evan Fournier, 106. He'll help in 3 points, field goals. His free throw's not bad, and he'll get you about 15, 20 points a game. Is Fournier. Then it went Bogdan Bogdanovic, the Utah Jazz one. He's not bad. He's a starter. He'll be good. Cousins I spoke about. Norman Powell. He'll get it. Now my pick is up again here. So now we got 3 more rounds left. Right now, this is tough part of the draft. We got Obi Toppin I like. Kevin Huerter, I don't know if him and Cam Reddish are going to play much. I think Obi Toppin, he's going to play a lot of minutes. And I like him here, so I'll go with another New York Knick. The Knicks, it's all about the youth movement. And Obi Toppin, I think, is a good guy to get. I don't know what's going on here. But anyway, I got Toppin. So now my team is Russell Westbrook, Jamal Murray, CJ McCollum, Michael Porter, Obi Toppin, Andrew Wiggins. And at center, I got Blake Griffin, Giannis at utility, Markelle Fultz, LaMelo Ball, and RJ Barrett. So 2 more rounds and this mock draft is over. And I like my team. It's pretty well balanced. I know I'm a little guard heavy possibly with this team, but I think I'm going to do pretty good in this league, except rebounds are going to be a problem and block shots most likely. But scoring, I think I'll have that covered for the most part. Field goal percentage, it might be iffy. Assists, I think I'll be pretty good in that column as well. So I think I got a pretty balanced team. Like I said, rebounds are going to be a problem. And let's see the most recent picks now. Where was I? Got it to Norman Powell. He'll be decent. Montrezl Harrell, he left the Clippers for the Lakers, a move he said he'll never make, but he made it. He was the 6th man of the year last season, and we'll see what he does with the Lakers. I think he'll play a lot of minutes off that bench, and he'll be solid. Serge Ibaka taking Harrell's spot with the Clippers now after he left Toronto. So Ibaka, I like him here in the 10th round. He's going to give you a little bit of everything. A guy who could hit threes. He could get rebounds. He could block shots as well. So he'll help you. I think his points per game will go down. Then Daniel Thesis, it looks like he'll be the starter now. Tristan Thompson questionable after getting hurt in warm-ups and training camp. So we'll see with him. So Thesis here in the 10th round, not a bad get. Derrick Rose here, he's going to be the starter for Detroit. He's still going strong. He's expected to come off the bench now, they said. So we'll see who's going to start for Detroit at point guard. Hayes is going to be the starting point guard, the rookie. So another rookie to target here in fantasy drafts. I thought Rose was going to start. They're paying him money, and he's a veteran there. But Dwayne Casey not playing around. Then it went Barrett, Jared Allen here. P.J. Washington, he was pretty good last season for the Charlotte Hornets. They got a pretty solid team. Nerlens Noel, he's starting for the Knicks, it looks like. He started the last 2 games. And yesterday, 3 points, 10 rebounds, 2 assists, a steal, and a block. So Noel, he's going to help you in a lot of categories. And let's see who we got here. Paul Millsap, I have as a sleeper coming into drafts. Tim Hardaway, Marc Gasol, I don't know if he'll be fantasy value, really, with this Laker team. Who else? Let's see what other centers. There might be some sleepers here. Paul Millsap, Poultry, Marc Gasol, Zubac, Hayes, Derek Favors. Well, Paul Millsap I went here. So I like Millsap. I had him as a sleeper, and he's another big man. Last season, he was decent, was Millsap. He even added some 3 points to his arsenal. He helped in field goal at 48% and free throw 81%. So let's see what happened. So then it went, where was I? Goran Dragic, DiVincenzo. Those are good picks in the 10th round. Duncan Robinson, who stepped his game up in the playoffs for the Miami Heat and played well. Then it went DeAndre Jordan, Seth Curry now with Philly, and his father-in-law over there. He's going to be perfect, I think, with Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid to spread the floor. Is Seth Curry, so he's a good get. Then Larry Nance Jr., I think he'll play good playing time over there with the Cleveland Cavs. Then Josh Richardson, who got traded for Seth Curry. He'll be decent in Dallas. He's a guy that scored a lot last season. He'll help you in threes. Then Sweet Lou Williams, he's usually up there in the 6-man of the year rankings. And to get him in the 11th round to steal Jeff Teague, I don't think he holds value. He's just a name at this point, and he's a guy I was not going to draft in fantasy leagues. But anyway, he goes 126th is Jeff Teague. And then I get Obi Toppin at 127. I think that's pretty good, even though they rank him 149. But Toppin is going to be growing pains. But he's a big man who could shoot threes. And he reminds me of an Amari Stoudemire and a Blake Griffin type, but with a jump shot. So I think getting Toppin at 127 was good for me. Kevin Huerter, like I said before, him and Cam Reddish, they went 128 and Reddish 130 here. They're not going to get much playing time, I think, and there's a lot of mouths to feed in Atlanta with John Collins, Trae Young, obviously. They got a bunch of guys over there. Bogdan, Delino Gallinari, Devin Hunter is DeAndre Hunter, as well. Will Barton, 129. He was going to take Grant's role, I believe, in Denver now and play. Alfred Payton, 131. He's starting for the Knicks. He's going to get minutes, him with Dennis Smith Jr. So at 131, it's not a bad get. Killian Hayes, who's going to be starting in Detroit, like I said early in the draft when I was talking about Derrick Rose. It's pretty good at 132 to get a starter in this league, especially in a league where you got to draft, a bunch of guys. So in the 11th round to get Killian Hayes, who's got to work on his shooting. I don't think he'll be a great shooter, but he's going to be a decent three-point shooter possibly, and he can help your fantasy teams. So Hayes ended the 11th round. Then Ruch Hachimura, he'll get playing time in Washington. Chris Boucher over there in Toronto, he'll get going. And now I'm up again here. So what do we got left? All positions. I'm going to just try to take best player available. Got Kuzma, who I'm high on. He's a sleeper. Aaron Baines, who was good last season until he slowed down. We got, why not? I'll go Carmelo Anthony here. Carmelo Anthony, he could still score with the best of them. And if they give him Portland, if they give him big minutes, Portland, Carmelo Anthony off the bench, he could get 15, 20 points a game. So right there, that's a good get as well for Carmelo Anthony to get him that round. But let's see how it rounded out. Where was I on? Then DeAndre Jordan, Seth Curry, Nance. We said Josh Richardson, Lou Williams, Teague, Obi Toppin, Kevin Huerter, Will Barton, Cam Reddish, Alfred Payton, Killian Hayes, Chris Boucher. He's going to get playing time over there in Toronto. They re-signed him with Gasol and Ibaka leaving. Even though they got Lennon Baines, I still think Boucher will be good. DeLon Wright, he's in Detroit also. I think he'll be all right over there. Miles Bridges, he's going to start or come off the bench with a big role for Charlotte. Then it went Joe Harris. He'll be a three-point specialist. And talk about a guy that got paid, way overpaid, 4 years, $75 million for Brooklyn. But he's a guy that's going to have single coverage, and he'll be left open a lot, I think, in the corner with Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant over there. Then Paul Millsap, I took it 138. He's still a solid veteran and stuff. Is Millsap. So I think he can help my team in a couple categories. Threes, rebounds, and if he's bad, I cut him. I got him in the 12th round. Marquise Chris, I don't know if he'll really have a role in Golden State. He'll probably come off the bench because this Warrior team, I don't think they're going to play deep rotations. And they got a bunch of guys over there anyway. Darius Garland, another year for him. I think he'll be a main focal point. Him and Colin Sexton and Kevin Love in that Cleveland Cavalier offense. I think Garland was a decent get at 140. 141, Darius Baisley, all the young kids are going to play. They blew it totally up with the Thunder, trading everyone this offseason. Steven Adams, Chris Paul, Oubre, they got after that deal. They traded him as well. Anthony Edwards, he was the first pick in the NBA draft, 142. That's not a bad place to get him. Edwards, I think he'll be okay. I don't think his value will be that good. But I think Edwards will still have a role in that Timberwolf offense, and he'll probably help you in points, if that, and he won't help you in 3 points. And his field goal, I don't know if he'll be that good as well. Terry Rozier, he might be the odd man out, but he's still a guy getting paid big money, is Rozier in Charlotte. But I think he'll still play, like I said, because he's getting paid. But if he gets traded, his value will go up. Joel Ingles, he'll help in threes. He's not bad for a guy to get. Then Malik Beasley, he got paid. Another guy over there in Minnesota. A lot of guys in Minnesota. Marcus Orr with the Lakers. I don't know if he'll have much of a role, to be honest. But they get him over there. He'll be coming off the bench or start possibly. Joe Poultry, Spencer Dinwiddie. He'll be a six-man for the Brooklyn Nets once again. But he's a guy who's going to play a lot with Kyrie Irving. Going to miss back-to-backs and stuff and not going to play much with injury, in my opinion. So Dinwiddie in the 13th round, that's a steal. 149, Terrence Ross. He was scoring. He was playing well last season, so he's good. Tim Hardaway, 150. Him and Ross, similar players. So to get him 149 and 150, not bad. I took Carmelo Anthony, 151. He could still score the basketball. He's a guy I had a sleeper in that sleeper video going into drafts, and I think he'll be good. Kevin Porter Jr., another youngster over there with the Cavs. Not a bad guy to get at 152. They're going to play the kids there and stuff. So I think to get him in the 13th round is not bad. And if you don't do anything, you cut him. These 12th to 14th round, these last 3 rounds, you're getting guys that have potential and could potentially help. And if they don't, you cut them, and you didn't waste a high pick on them. Tyrese Halliburton, 153rd, not bad to get Halliburton over here. He's a rookie. Sacramento, they're going to be terrible this season, and Halliburton's going to get every chance to play big minutes. Then Ivica Zubac at center, he's going to get minutes with the Clippers. He'll play 20, 25 minutes, I believe. So to get him at 155 as a flyer, why not? And 156, DeAndre Hunter of the Atlanta Hawks. The Hawks, I got Bogdan, Gallinari, Herder, Reddish, tons of guys over there. John Collins, Capella, Trae Young, Hunter. He was good last season at the end of the fantasy season, and he helped a lot of teams in the playoffs. But I think to get him here in the 13th round, another guy you're just taking a flyer on, and if he don't do good, it's all right. I think it's a good get to get him there. And that was the draft. And my final team, Russell Westbrook, I got him in the 2nd round. Jamal Murray, 3rd round, he fell to me. And I think Murray takes the next step like he did in the playoffs and has a good season. CJ McCollum, always a solid guy to have on your teams for points, 3-pointers, free throw percentage, and threes made. Michael Porter Jr., I think this is going to be the breakout season for this athletic forward, and a lot of people think it is too. So to get him in the 5th round, I think it was a safe play to get him. Obi Toppin, maybe I reached a little on him, but I think Obi Toppin, he's going to get a lot of opportunities over there for the Knicks, and he's possibly their 2nd or 3rd best player, and honestly, he didn't even play a regular season game yet. Andrew Wiggins, I think Wiggins, he'll be good over there. He'll be the number 2 option with Klay Thompson out for the season now, and his usage is going to go up. The ball's going to be in his hands a little more now, and they're going to try to rely on Wiggins also to get better at 3-point shooting. Then we got Blake Griffin I took 7th round. Why not? Blake Griffin, he's healthy supposedly. He's played in these preseason games so far, and I think Blake Griffin, he'll be okay. And for him to qualify at power forward and center, and now he could shoot some 3-pointers, I like that I got him there. Giannis, to get him in number 7 boggles my mind, where this guy could go 1st to 3rd pick, and to get him at 7, it was a total steal. He's going to have monster season if he stays healthy, even though he had the injury scare. But Giannis is a stud. He won the MVP back-to-back seasons for a reason, and I think he has a great season this year. Is Giannis obviously stays or goes wherever he goes. This guy's a mainstay, and if he could develop a 3-point shot, sky's the limit. The next guy, Markelle Fultz, I got utility. He's a guy I had on my breakout list this season, and to get him in the 9th round, I like getting him there. The Magic, they're high on him in Markelle Fultz, and I think he'll be solid. And to have him as my utility, why not? LaMelo Ball, I took him in the 10th round. His ball, we'll see what he could do this season. He's a rookie. All the hype with him and stuff is LaMelo, but I think he'll be all right. And to take a shot on him in the 10th round, maybe I reached a little, but hey, if he could get it going, he's going to get playing time, and I don't know if the Hornets are going to be a playoff team, so they might be playing the youngsters by mid-season. So LaMelo Ball, I'm just going to ride with him and see what he does. RJ Barrett, another guy, 2nd year though this year, and he's going to be a mainstay in that Knick offense. He's going to get all the opportunities. And if Barrett could get his field goal and his three-pointers up, he's going to help very well because this guy's got potential to drop 20 points a game. And he's a hard worker. Last season was a bad rookie year. He didn't even make the all-rookie team, so he was disappointed. He wants to prove people wrong, and I think Barrett will be decent. Paul Millsap, a veteran, why not? Get him at the end of my bench. He qualifies for powered forward and center, and why not? Like I said, he was there. I took a shot on him, and he could still help your fantasy team, I think, with 13 and 7 possibly, and he could even add a 3 to a 3.5 a game. So Paul Millsap, if he don't do good, I got him in the 12th round, and worst case, I dump him. And the 13th round, the final guy I took was Carmelo Anthony. And Melo, he wasn't bad last season in Portland. He took on a new role as a guy coming off the bench, not the main option. And we'll see what he does. Is Carmelo Anthony, but he could score with the best of them still off the bench. He had 15 points a game, and I think he could give you 15-5. He'll add a 3, a 3.5 a game. Carmelo Anthony really improved at his three-point shooting last season. So I like Carmelo here. He's a guy I had on my sleeper video, and we'll see what he does this season. So that wraps up this 12-team mock head-to-head fantasy league draft. And I'm going to come back later in the week with a 10-team and possibly a 14-team mock draft as drafts are kicking off this week with the season starting next week. So thanks for watching.